Alright, what's up guys? Here with another video, opening up with weighted dips. I have not done weighted dips in so long. I'm here at my school gym, and they had a weight belt, and I saw this guy doing weighted pull-ups, and I was like, why not I do some, weighted calisthenics? So I decided to do that. I did 3 sets, I believe, of weighted dips. This footage was filmed Monday. At the time of me recording this this audio, it is Thursday and my chest is still sore. So dips are definitely a great way to get just to destroy your delts and get like crazy watermelon pecs. And even here on the weighted pull-ups, I'm still pretty sore. I believe I'm doing 55 for both of them. And then I'm doing like 7. It was about like 8 to 5 reps within the 3 sets that I did, right? And my back is still pretty sore, to be honest. But yeah, so I kind of want to like think over, like, this was kind of something that kind of came to my attention when it comes to like just exercises and stuff like that. So like I was in my school gym, and there's one time like I saw like this guy, I guess it was like maybe chest day for him, and he's doing like 1,000,000 chest exercises, like all these like weird like optimal like chest exercises that you'd see, or quote unquote optimal, that you'll see on like Jeff Nippard videos, or like these like TikTok videos where it's like, switch to this position which will get you optimal squeeze in the chest, so therefore yada 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 yada. And it's just like, looking at this guy doing these types of exercises, all these crazy variations and stuff like that, to work his chest, and he's like not really all that built and stuff like that. And I see this so many times, like with me going to school and then seeing, like, looking around, seeing a bunch of other people. One thing I realized is, for one, I'm actually a lot bigger than I think I feel like, right? I look at myself sometimes and I'm like, man, I don't feel like I'm that big or whatever. But then I like stand next to a normal person, or a person who's just now starting working out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I actually have a really appreciable amount of muscle mass, right? And so, but yeah, I see like these beginners, or maybe people who are like, they could have been working out for some months now, and they're like doing like these funny like not barbell, but like dumbbell exercises. It's just the form is so off, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? And then that's how people get up to like the whole conclusion where like, I was working out for a month, or I was working out for a year, but I just couldn't grow any muscle. And it's because, for one, you're not training with enough efficiency, or not enough efficiency, but enough effort, and you're not training in the right way, right? So people will like start off and they'll immediately do like all these shoulder isolation exercises. They'll do all these chest isolation exercises, all these like, lat pull down variations and whatnot, and they haven't even like been training for a year, right? They're like a string bean. No offense to them, but they're doing all these other exercises, right? Instead of sticking, or at least starting off with like tried and true exercises that have gotten people jacked for decades at this point, right? Simple exercises that you see me do basically every time I upload, right? Push-ups, dips, pull-ups, squats, overhead pressing, although I barely do overhead pressing, but still, right? And then, of course, like if you want to get some isolation in, very simple exercises like any type of like curl variation, a barbell curl, ring curls, pelican curls. There's so many other things out there to where we don't have to try and like do all these like, I don't know, these like weird TikTok exercises. That's all I can really think. They're just like these TikTok exercises. Next time you go to and train your chest, do this exercise because, and then now you have a whole list of chest exercises you're doing. And honestly, like as a beginner, like you shouldn't even have a bro split. Like you shouldn't have a split where it's like chest day and then back and arms and then however it's split up, right? But if you have fun doing a split like that and it's getting you gains, and you're okay with it, right? And you're able to stay consistent. And again, you're training with enough intensity and effort, and you're like going to failure or going close to failure, right? Then you're gonna grow. Especially as a beginner, you're going to be a lot more sensitive to, I guess, stimulus per se. So your muscles are going to adapt a lot quicker and faster than, let's say, someone who is more advanced, right? Where they've like where they're like really close or quote unquote close to maxing out their muscular potential. But yeah, so like, all these little optimal exercises that we see in YouTube shorts and TikToks and Instagram reels, or quote unquote optimal, it's like even they don't do those exercises right. They know they don't, because for one, like, all these weird little exercises take so much time to set up, and they use all this equipment, and you have to make sure a machine is open to make sure you are, I don't know, in this position, right? And it's like, again, like, just me seeing that guy doing like 10 million chest exercises, it's like like I just know he got it from TikTok. I know, because I was like that before, man. I was like that before, man. I was doing a million different exercises for one muscle group in one day and I didn't have to. You could choose 1 to 2 exercises, right, of your choice that you feel like really do you justice, right? And then just do them over a long period of time, and you're gonna get jacked. I saw these guys in the gym. I was hitting legs today, and they did squats. I think they did full body, to be honest. And oh man, the squat form was atrocious. But that's besides the point. But then they were doing like these weird like barbell exercises where like they're basically just flailing around the barbells, right? And it's like the barbells with like the predetermined weight, kind of usually used for like curling and stuff like that. And it's like, oh man, like, these guys have no idea what they're doing. So it's just a lack of education as well. And where are you getting your information from, right? Most of my information that I've gotten from in terms of fitness are people who, are natural, or at least I would assume they're natural, right? And their advice is very simple, right? When you're getting like training advice from like people who are on steroids or on gear, and they do like, all these junk volume and stuff like that, it can kind of be complicated. But like, someone who's natural, it's like, well, I did X, Y, and Z exercises for a long period of time, and I got big over time, right? And I stuck to them, and I was consistent with them, and I tracked my progress, and I trained with enough intensity. Those things are very simple, and you don't need to have a repertoire of a bunch of exercises to do all in one day, which is going to end up having you have like 3 hour long gym sessions, and you're just training like one muscle group, or you're supposed to be training 2 muscle groups, but most of your time is spent training the chest or whatever. And then another thing is like, people might focus way too much on one particular muscle group, thinking that if you develop that muscle group, you're gonna look jacked. Like, example, the chest, right? I know I said this like a million times already, but people would like put so much emphasis on building the chest, right? When there's so many like jacked athletes, and like the last thing that is developed on their body is like their chest, right? So the chest isn't something that's very important to look like, like a man, quote unquote, or to have like an appreciable physique. It's really like the back, shoulders, arms, right? Stuff like that. Those, at least, when it comes to upper body muscles, those are like the most important muscles in terms of, let's say, aesthetics and looking big, right? So if you want to put more focus anywhere, it should be in the back, shoulders, and arms, especially the back, right? Calisthenics athletes who like do nothing but pull-ups, they look really good because they just have this great V-taper and a great back definition, because they do pull-ups and chin-ups day in and day out, right? And I'd say I'm an example of that, right? I love doing pull-ups. I do mostly calisthenics a lot in a lot of my training, and my back and even my chest, right, from consistently doing dips and push-ups. I don't do chest flies. I don't do cable crossovers. I don't do whatever. I don't know, whatever, man. I stick to the most basic exercises, and that's push-ups and dips, and that is what's worked for me. I don't even bench, right? I've been working out for 3 years, and I've been doing push-ups since day one, and I'm still doing push-ups, right? So it's not like I can graduate from push-ups and then now do some other type of movement that is quote unquote better than push-ups, right? So again, like I said before, so many people who have gotten so much progress, they got so much progress from the basic, most simple things, and that stuff is cookie cutter advice. You know, that stuff is the most simple, bare bones, basic advice, but it's too, it's not saturated enough, or maybe it's not stimulating enough. So you know, when our, you know, skibbity toilet brain dead minds, Kaisenat, Riz, hear those like, you know, cookie cutter, very basic, very simple advice, it's like, ah, man, that's not enough. No way is that simple. It has to be more complicated. Let me overcomplicate things more by, you know, doing a gazillion exercises, right? Here, this footage that you're seeing, it's my lower body day, and I did what, 4 exercises? I think 5. So I did RDLs, shrugs, I did leg raises, and I did what do you call it, hack squat. And again, very simple exercises, right? For my lower body, I really do 2 exercises technically, right? You know, for my posterior chain and for my quads, right? So I don't need to do a million quad exercises, especially as a beginner, right? You know, a lot of beginners fall into that trap of having to do all these optimal exercises and do all these exercises when it's just going to end up being junk volume. And so you're in the gym working out, doing your 5th hamstring exercise when you only really needed 1. You only needed to do RDLs, right? Or you only needed to do back extensions, whichever hip hinge you choose to do on that given day. You're over here on your 5th quad exercise when all you really needed were squats. All you really needed were squats. That could have been a bunch of bodyweight squats. That could have been barbell squats. That could have been hack squats. It could have been leg press. And then, you know, maybe if you wanted to, you could just do some leg extensions, right? You know, it doesn't have to be that complicated. You know, I remember when I was like really like first getting into training and I didn't know what I was doing at all. I'd like have a day dedicated to abs, and I'd do like 15 ab exercises and stuff like that. And it's just so silly. It's just so silly, right? So even this stuff that isn't optimal, it's like just like it's so beginner attractive, right? Beginners find it attractive, like, you know, when people want to start off doing something, they want to do a lot of it. And when it comes to training, when it comes to the gym, that's not at all the case. Like, you want to start off with your basic, most bare bones exercise, right? You want to start off with your squats, your hinges, your pushing, your vertical and horizontal pushing movements, your horizontal and vertical pulling movements, and then like some like isolation work for like maybe your abs and your shoulders and your arms, stuff like that, which is again very simple. But simple stuff isn't sexy, it's not attractive. But guess what? You know, I believe that the body that I've built is pretty attractive from the non-sexy things, right? I've done, again, day in and day out, simple, basic exercises, and I enjoy these exercises, right? I can't see how over a long period of time it's going to be, you know, enjoyable to do cable one-arm crossover pullovers with your finger, you know, up your nose and your pinky toe, scratching your butt, and like you're in this complicated yoga position just to train your chest. So again, just stick to the basics. You're gonna get jacked. Peace out.